YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Manu here, aka Mr. See It Before It Happens. And today, fellas, we're going to continue our Man 22 prep series. Again, we're going to be going back over the Man 21 tournament games to help us prepare for the upcoming Man 22 season. And I think we can all learn from these prior big tournament games. So, this is going to be my final 6 game versus Sona Gucci. I'm going to get straight into it. We're going to start off here on offense. And Gucci is not a player I'm not too familiar with. I always say I'm a pretty slow. I've always been a pretty slow starter, I'd say, in tournaments. And when I play someone that I'm not as familiar with, sometimes I can be amplified a bit. But so far this tournament, I feel like this year I've gotten off to a pretty good start in a lot of my games. But I always say I'll progress really well throughout the games once I kind of pick up onto what someone's doing. Here, again, I just missed a read here. I was more so looking at, I wasn't expecting, the running back is usually one of my last reads. I was more looking at the drag in the post or the middle of the field. Again, I'm not as good with the playmaker, so again, I have this tendency when I'm using playmaker, I'm kind of looking to set up the playmaker first. So I was kind of looking at the playmaker receiver first, but I did notice I missed the halfback the play before. Luckily, he gave it up again. We were able to laser him. When I got to this 4th and inches, I was just kind of coming out to see what his defense was. If I didn't like what I saw, I would have gone right back to trips head end. But I knew this really didn't have much of a chance to stop goal line here, and we're able to pop him here for a fairly big gain. Again, so far on offense, I'm just feeling him out a little bit, and I played the day right after and Fancy and Spotto. So again, a lot of these players already kind of know about PA shot post, and I kind of just assumed um, on this first drive that Gucci's going to be really looking to take that play away because that play Fancy basically spammed that play versus Ghost, and that was really the difference maker in that game. The S pulse was open like 6 times, and then later in the day, I feel like West played versus Spotto, and he kind of caught on to that, and he didn't really give up the S pulse. So coming out today, I started off in a little bit more X spot, but I did go back to PA shot post here. I want to see how he reacted versus the best play in trips, and there again, I saw that he rolled his coverage, meaning that he put one of his safeties in an inside third, giving up that outside out and up. That out and up beat shade up man to man. So right there, I figured, and I'm going to take note of this for my next drive. I kind of thought that okay, I showed Gucci my best playing trips, and I figured he's going to take that away, but you'll see, kind of comes back to bite me later. But here, again, I see it comes down the box to the free safety. Again, this was an easy play call for me. Uh, you know, uh, Obviously the free safety is usually going to be there. He brought his free safety down the box, so again, kind of an easy decision there. Call the skinny post, throw it right where his user should have been. Again, I'm sure he was expecting me to run there on the first down, but he just made it so obvious that he was committing to the run. So hit him over the top there in the red zone. Again, most people are going to kind of expect to run there on 1st and 10. And man, I was so pissed that I got stopped at the 1. It's so tough. Like, man, I feel like when I truck down here in the red zone again, everybody, I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's just trying to get lucky down here at the 1. They're just trying to, flick the right stick up, truck somebody, the quarterback sneak, they get a fall forward animation. That's all I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to get lucky. I'm just trying to fall forward. And I feel like in the past, they haven't shown me the love, but thank God here, he did not stop me at the 1. And we're able to punch it in here, go up 7-0. Again, coming out on offense for Gucci here. So again, I'm running a different defense from the rest of the competitors. Um, I will say that the defense, I guess, was a bit of a risky decision. I know a lot of people were curious as to why I ran this defense. So um, just kind of based off of previous history. Um, you know, in the start of the year in Man 20, I kind of put people onto the big dime defense. Man 20 at the end of the year, I put people onto the spinner defense with the motion out or with the moved out contain. I felt like that was the best bunch defense. And then again this year, I was kind of ahead of the curve with the mid blitz. So really, I thought I kind of just did it again here with this defense. And what was good about the defense that I was in was that it was the best. It was a far and away the best defense for his Max Pro. And historically, bunch players, when they see a look like this, most bunch players in the world are just going to max protect. Uh, and also, that's just kind of how the meta's been on for bunch in these past couple of years. Most bunch players are not looking to send five out. They're not five out players. They're more so looking to, you know, they're more so figuring out ways to pick up the blitz. And they're not really going to be sending out their running back that much. But again, this meta was just different. On this meta, people did send out their running back a lot in bunch. And again, my biggest regret in this tournament, as I said, was just not playing in like some of the online tournaments. I felt like this was kind of the least knowledgeable I've ever kind of been about the game. Again, I got in good bunch reps, but I felt like they weren't good meta bunch reps, so I feel like I was a bit behind the curve in that area. Whereas I didn't know that I mean, I was watching on tournament day about the halfback flat, and I knew that it was good, but when you actually go into the game versus the running back flat, and Gucci scores here, make it 7-7, but uh, when I was actually playing versus it, it just like, damn, it's really hard to get to that. And you really think from watching it that you can get there and make the tackle, but again, they just throw the flat so fast, so it makes it really, it made it really difficult to get to the flat. Um, and also, I was after this tournament too. I was talking to some people about it, and apparently, some people believe that Randy Moss made the Z spot route 10 times better. And I made a mistake there too. I did not have my right player in. I actually, on my slot cornerback, I had one step ahead. I had deep route KO, and I had acrobat. And even when I had the right guy in, it was just not good enough to stop what Gucci was the Z spot corner route. But here on offense, again, we kind of noticed that Gucci last time. Again, I noticed that he struggled versus the PA shot post. He gave up. Uh, he gave up the tight end, the sideline on the tight end side. He gave up the out and up. So here, I feel like after he's seen it a couple of plays, though, I feel like he was going to kind of have a handle on it. Here, 1st and 10. Again, I see Gucci has the spread line. I don't really run. I ran probably less than anybody, and I feel like this is pretty unfortunate. I don't really see this. Uh, Here, I'll go back. So usually when you have a spread line like this, you're able to cut it out to the left. But he had a guy come free again. I've never really seen this. Usually you can get at least a couple yards. I feel like this was pretty crazy. I don't think I ran again after this. So again, on the 2nd and 14, I've ran PA shot post now twice on Gucci, and again, most players I feel like are not gonna give it up again. I could have gone back to it, but it's um, another thing. The crosser just did not get open, so Gucci ran a little different alignment. I think he was doing man align, and this was another thing that kind of threw me off a little bit. Is most people have played how they did it, how they set it up on defense is the crosser was consistent every single time, and that's the first time I've ever seen the crosser get bagged. Again, if you watch the J-Wall game, again, he had the luxury of kind of seeing Gucci play how he played versus strips. Again, he kind of figured out Gucci was in a little bit different alignment, so that's why my crosser was not getting open, and he was able to get his open because he snapped his at a different time. So again, that really led to the stop here for Gucci. Again, just kind of knowing that alignment could kind of throw off the crosser. So again, I kind of had to throw the crosser out of my game plan. That was something that the deep crosser I was looking to use a lot. It's usually really good versus man to man, but Gucci had something for that. Again, really the biggest play though was that just that second and 14, just not getting the crosser open. And Gucci was pretty crazy for giving up that deep middle, like user rushing, and giving up the deep middle. The last two play calls I called PA post shot. Again, at that point I kind of anticipate, okay, I've shown him my best play twice. You've watched Ghost and Fancy play yesterday. No way you give it up again, and he did. But I did not call it, and that's why I did not call PA shot post 3 times in a row. But again, I'm going to kind of adapt my thought process over the course of the game. Um, Again, I haven't really seen Gucci play versus, I've never seen him play versus Trips. I'm not really familiar with how he thinks. So again, I'm gonna on the next drive I'm gonna be a little bit more, even more aggressive on offense. After seeing that, I feel like he didn't have good defense for the best base plays and trips. So, but here I get him to a 3rd and 7, and actually when I go back and look at this game, on that first play, the reason why I really felt like I had to blitz bunch a lot is it was so hard to guard Z spot. Again, the person who played really the best bunch defense um, was probably Henry, and it's because he was utilizing a lot of match coverage. Again, if you were not utilizing match coverage, you really just kind of had to hope and pray that the man played the Z spot route, or you basically had to triple team the slot guy. So what you had to do was have a man up on the slot, have a 25-yard cloud, and you still need a deep half over the top. So you really need to dedicate, if you weren't running match, like 3 players to Z spot to consistently stop it. And when I was messing, and I had played a few bunch players, and I was even doing this versus blocky. So I had the deep route KO in the slot, the one step ahead, the acrobat, shaded down pressed. Again, we would stop it. Almost. We were stopping it almost every time. But again, people thought that Moss, again, Gucci had Moss, and a lot of people believe that Moss made the Z spot route 10 times more effective. Again, here, that's where you're going to see me blitzing a lot. So I was really in a dilemma this game. So I feel like I had to blitz him so he couldn't get off the Z spot route. But if I blitzed him, then I gave up the running back flat. So it was a really tough dilemma. And the thing is, if I had the decision, if they would have let me, I would have switched playbooks at halftime. Again, when I kind of saw how this game was playing out, I was like, bro, I need to get it. I do not want to run this defense. The problem is that the 3-3-5 wide in this playbook, again, my team is not set up for 3-3-5 wide. So I was kind of locked in on this defense. So again, it was a risk, and obviously just a risk that didn't really pay off. I thought it made sense considering, I'm not expecting most players to send 5 out in bunch. That's not how most bunch players play. But this was more of a 5 out meta, and the defense I was in was not really, it was okay, but it really wasn't meant versus a 5 out type of bunch. Again, it was great versus what most people do and bunch, and that's max protect. So again, here I'm gonna try the crosser again, and you're gonna see that the crosser had no chance of getting open. So again, at this point, you're going to see me slide again. I slid before he dove at me. Again, Gannon was literally in the process of sliding, but Gucci was able to suction me while I was sliding. So it made it look a lot worse than what it was, but I slid before he got to me. So at this point, I thought it was fluke last time because, again, I've ran the crosser so many times. The crosser, usually gets open. I thought it was fluke. I went back to it. It was not fluke. And again, you're going to see here Gucci is putting his middle linebacker in an inside third. So again, and he was doing that to protect against PA post shot because, I had ran that a couple times on him. And PA post shot got a lot better after, once you got into the final eight. That's another thing a lot of people don't realize is, versus defense that Gucci was doing the inside third, before the final 8, so in the round I'm in, the final 32, final 16, PA post shot was not it was still good, but it was not nearly as good because the tight end crosser was not consistent at all versus man. Once you got into the final eight, the trips players had the luxury of being able to throw the tight end crosser because they had an EA introduced like route cams at that point, so the tight end crosser did get open after this round of the competition. So that's why you're not going to see me go to PA shot post as much because Gucci was um, Gucci was doing a decent bit of inside thirding, and honestly, uh, the, the biggest play I regret is really just the second and 14. Again, it's easy to kind of say afterwards that, oh man, he left open PA post shot. I should have just went to it again. But again, most players I feel like in this tournament are not going to give up the same play. The best play in trips 3 plays in a row. Gucci did kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I was kind of expecting him to inside third and outside third. That's how kind of most people responded to it. So I was trying to make the adjustment to the adjustment for him, adjust for the defensive player, then adjust to the adjustment. But Gucci wasn't really thinking like that. He was content with giving up that deep bomb, and I just didn't really anticipate that. But again, the in the second half, really my game plan is to be a little bit more aggressive, and you're gonna see me run a bit more PA post shot than I did in the first half. Again, I ran it 2 or 3 times in the first half, but you're gonna see me go to it just about every other play in the second half because again, Gucci was was fairly content with giving up that deep middle. On my first drive, though, on Gucci's last 2 plays on defense, he put an inside third. And I think that was just because of the situation, though. He didn't want to get bombed at the end of the half. So Gucci did do a bit of inside thirding. So, but again, you are going to see me do a lot of X spot and PA post shot in the second half. And again, man, this was so annoying because again, the dilemma I'm in is if I don't blitz him, I'm gonna give up Z spot. So usually though, for the knowledge I knew that I had in this tournament, I thought that a 1v1 with deep route KO, one step ahead, and acrobat could stop Z spot. 90% of the time, people kind of convince me on that, and just from my testing, doing it too, we found that just having that souped up slot cornerback could stop Z spot majority of the time. Once I saw that was just not the case when I got into this game. Uh, Again, the next best way to stop Z spot was just blitzing it before they could throw it. Honestly, because really, I don't have match in this defense, or I did, but match out of this defense. Really, I couldn't find the best way to utilize it. So, uh, and if you want to sub Z spot out of like a zone look, really, you need to have like 3 guys on the dude. You had to have him like a cloud on 25. You had to have the guy manned up. You had to have a deep half over the top just to stop that one route. So, really, the best way to go about it was blitzing. And here, I should have called a timeout. Uh, if I'll go back on this again, I was trying to man him up. You're gonna see he gets cross man, but I wanted to man my safety up onto the running back. I manned up the wrong guy. You're gonna see that was another benefit of this defense is I could crossman, but you see I manned him up on the wrong guy. I don't know who I manned him up to, but I did want to man up the running back there. I should have called a timeout. I didn't really want to use the second half timeout there. I wasn't expecting him to go no huddle, and he came out and quick snapped me. He got me there. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go straight back to the man to man. The blitz is killing me, and again, that's the dilemma I was in the entire game, bro. If I played coverage, I'm giving up Z spot. If I blitz him, I'm giving up the flat. It was so annoying. And the thing about the defense I was in again, it was mainly built for max protection, and again, Gucci just never max protect. Again, that's just not how the bunch meta really played in this tournament. That's what I meant by if I did again next year, like play a lot more in the online tournaments. Um was really I just the meta in this tournament for bunch was much different than what I expected. So I would have played. I would not have ran this defense if I knew what I knew after the tournament. But here back on offense, so again on Gucci's last two defensive plays, he's been just running basic 2 man under with an inside third from his linebacker. And again, Gucci does that again here. He inside thirds, 2 man under inside third to prevent PA post shot. And that's why we're going to use a good bit of X spot. X spot I feel like was the next best play after PA post shot because X spot beat man consistently. And it's going to get, if someone wants to run a zone look out of this defense, again, X spot is going to get underneath every single zone. So here, after calling X spot, I'm not expecting Gucci the inside third again because the inside third is never going to have a chance of going X spot. So I figured he'd give up the deep middle again here. That's why I went to PA post shot, and he did. But really, he blitzed here though. Again here, I'm expecting. I ran PA post shot in the last play, so I was kind of expecting him to kind of go back to the inside third by the linebacker, but he didn't. He just ran basic 2 man under there. So again, I'm gonna go back here to PA post shot. Again, Gucci's not someone I'm familiar with. So again, this is only my third drive versus him. So I'm just kind of trying to figure him out, and see where he's at. So again, I'm gonna try to take a shot here. Again, he's really content with giving up. He does inside third, his linebacker there. But compared to some of the other competitors, Gucci was extremely content with giving up the best play in trips a lot of the times. So that's why in the second half I did call a bit more PA post shot. I'm starting to basically alternate between PA post shot and X spot because sometimes it's just about every other play. It's either inside linebacker in the middle third or it's just basic 2 man under. And here that's what you saw me call X spot because again he is doing a good bit of inside thirding his middle linebacker. And so we go to our next best play. That X spot really beat everything out of this defense. Again, I feel like X spot was a play that's going to beat any potential defense that you could put on the field. Here, again, these curls were like one of the better options versus this defense. Again, it's hard to consistently beat it down the field, especially if again Gucci had found a way to stop the crossing route. That's why you're seeing me not use that crossing route a lot. Again, when I ran the crossing route twice, he stopped it both times. It never had a chance of getting open again. Gucci ran a little bit different alignment, and the tight end crosser at this point of clubs was just not good. So that's why you're not seeing me use the tight end crosser that much. Again, it was really inconsistent versus man. So really my only options were, again, my main plays were PA post shot and X spot. Here, that's a huge penalty to take right there. First and goal at the 12. Again, that was huge right there. Again, the red zone is so important in these games. Again, it's just so difficult. Again, first and goal. Again, I'm hoping for him to get super aggressive here. I maybe might have had the tight end route, but it would have been risky. I believe that corner had acrobat, but man, I really wanted that tight end corner route, but it was a little scary, so I didn't throw it. Again, second and goal at the 16. Really, I just try to trick Gucci here. Again, this is a tough spot on the field. Again, most people are going to be. Again, I pass like almost all game. I probably pass the most of anyone in the field, maybe. But in a situation like that, second goal to 16, I passed almost all game. Again, I'm sure he wasn't really expecting me to run there, so figured I could trick him with a run and just get some yards back, make this a little bit more manageable for me. And it did, but again, I didn't have too many dots on here. It was pretty difficult. Not gonna lie, that was our best shot right there. And again, I really want to go for this. I just can't. It's just so difficult in this spot of the field to get a touchdown. Again, I did not feel confident that I could cook up a play uh, to get in here. Again, it's just difficult on this spot of the field. There's not really limited space, not many options to go to, especially on this, heavy man meta. So, but again, now back on defense here. Really, really, I'm gonna have to think outside the box a little bit. Um, when I was on defense in this game, when I'm seeing this like running back flat for the first time, you really feel like in the game, I feel like that you can run over there and get it. You just can't though. So I was like, man, I just gotta be a little bit quicker. But it's just like they just threw the flat so fast. It's just like you really had no chance. So again, really in this tournament, I just feel like I was just so behind the curve, and I had felt really good going to this tournament because usually I'm ahead of the curve on defense and offense. But in this tournament, I was just not ahead of the curve on defense, obviously. Again, as you see there, bro, like it was so annoying because then, okay, I mix in zone. I have the outside quarter for Z spot, and again, bro, you have to run and guard Z spot. Like nothing really like again, you had to triple team Z spot. So again, I got away from the man. I got away from the blitzing. I went to some zone coverage, and the Z spot corner route would have been open for 30 yards if I didn't running go and user guard that. So again, really annoying. But looking back at this game, I think the best defensive setup I had was uh, I had like manned up. I had manned up Moss, and I believe that I had a zone drop where a deep blue actually played it. So, um, but from what I knew is anytime I put again, there it goes again, bro. Again, going into this game, bro, every 80%, 80 to 90% of the time, it's just uh, man is more often than not going to stop Z spot. Again, that just was not the case. It just wasn't. Again, Moss was just different. And again, this is just I I was so upset about this tournament just because like I never played the game like this on especially on defense. I just don't. I'm not relying on the. I'm not relying on. I don't. I usually don't rely on chance on defense. Like I'm not the defensive player that's gonna come out here and be like, oh yeah, I'm not shedding this guy. What's my D line doing? What's my Torres doing? I never play the game like that. I'm just trying to completely. I'm gonna try to completely take away everything someone's doing, take away their best plays, make them think on the fly a little bit. Again, I'm gonna rely on my coverage adjustments usually. I'm not gonna rely on man plays this 80% of the time. You should get in, or man, this guy usually sheds quicker than that. And but if they're not shedding, you're just screwed. I never play the game like this. And again, I just feel like I'm be- I'm better on defense when I'm actually thinking, and not just relying on something OD in the game. But it just backfired. It just man was just not man was just terrible for me, bro. I've been telling these people at EA, bro, and even right there, again, I know earlier in the game for me, I took a hit, but I feel like I was in the motion of sliding. Like if you went back and watched it, I was sliding and Gucci suctioned me while I was sliding. Gucci did not attempt to slide there, so that's why I was a little upset about that. But again, I didn't fumble mine, so it is what it is. But really, biggest takeaway from this game is just really just being behind the curve, like, and just not knowing how the game actually played. Because really, it was just too easy for Gucci. Like the corner route was open, like for 50 yards, 80% of the time. If I blitzed him, so he wouldn't get Z spot off, he just threw the flat for 50 yards. If I played zone, the corner route was open. So really, I feel like I just didn't know. I really just didn't know how this game actually played. And when I got into the tournament, even when I was playing versus Danny, I was just like, bro, this shit is terrible that I'm running. Like Danny just streaked me to death. Again, I've never seen that either, where the streak is just beating everything. So again, it is what it is. Again, a lot of times I've gone in the tournaments where I'm well ahead of the curve on defense. Again, the last 3 or 4 times I feel like I've been well ahead of the curve on defense. And again, this tournament took a risk, didn't pay off. That was really the story here. And really the biggest thing too was like the stop in the second drive. Again, Gucci kind of had something to where he knew how to stop the crossing route. He ran like a little different alignment on defense from everybody else. Then again, J Will. If you go and watch J Will's game, J Will was able to get the crosser open, and that was really a big part of J Will's game versus Gucci. You know, he was able to get that crosser open consistently. He figured out the alignment that Gucci was doing. He was just kind of snapping the crosser at a different time. So that ended up being a big stop for Gucci as well. So, but uh, yeah, that's really it. Though Gucci just has to run the clock out. Good games to him. I'll put his like social media stuff in the bio. And always, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys want to see more of these breakdowns, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what other content you guys want to see. And guys, I'm gonna try to get this face cam shit together. Like, man, I got the face cam and everything. Again, it's just so annoying dealing with these Elgatos and stuff like that. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out.